Welcome to the Donald POV. I'm Donald Fitzgill Jr., bringing you my point of view on everything I want to talk about, literally everything. And trust me, I've got a lot to say. So without further ado, let's go! In 2003, I was at the bar inside Bennigan's restaurant in Fort Worth and met a guy who said he was the drummer for the Gap Band and gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten. I told him how I made music during college, and he told me, never hand someone a finished product and then explain what's wrong with it. You see, this immediately resonated with me as I had given out many CDs before with a disclosure attached like, one of these songs is going to be louder than the other, or disregard the staticky sound because it's a sample, or just wait until I get a better microphone, or better software, or better equipment. It was truly an honor to be given such sage advice, as simple as it was, from someone who had already been down the path I was trying to travel. As you may or may not know, the Gap Band sang such songs as Outstanding, ba-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, Girl, you knock me out, and my heart is yearning for your love. And also, you dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me, and turn me out. Yep, that just happened. But did you know that the Gap Band was originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and their name comes from the streets Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, GAP. Now, Greenwood has historical significance in American history. It served as one of the color lines in Tulsa. Many cities in America, especially in the South, had this color line that dictated what side of town blacks could live on. In fact, I know that many of you listening can think of the town you grew up in and picture where this line is today. Though neighborhoods cannot legally be segregated today, in large part we are still very much separated by these original color lines. Well, Tulsa was no different, and at the turn of the 20th century, Tulsa was one of the wealthiest places on earth per capita, and the Greenwood area was known as Black Wall Street. This was not only one of the most prominent black communities in America at the time, this was a prominent community by anyone's standards. It was said that one of the bankers on Black Wall Street made over $100,000 a week, which ain't a bad way to make a living, to say the least. Black Wall Street served as an example to blacks and other disenfranchised groups in America that wide-scale success could be obtained organically as long as progress wasn't halted by some outside force. Now, I could take this story in several different directions from here, and those that already know the story know its violent and horrible ending, marking one of the most devastating massacres in the history of America's race relations. But I'm going to take this story in a different direction. I want to talk about one of the reasons the Greenwood community was able to become a vibrant community in the first place. How did they become so successful? I believe by choosing the right investments. Which brings me to the topic of the show today, how to choose a stock. Let's talk about stocks. Let's talk about stocks, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about stocks. Let's talk about stocks. Let's talk about stocks. Let's talk about stocks. How to choose a stock. So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that there are many different ways of choosing a stock. From fundamental analysis to technical analysis to modern portfolio theory to behavioral economics and so on. These different systems can take years to learn and a lifetime to master. But if you have the discipline and desire to learn these systems, the knowledge that you will gain could be worth its weight in gold. And while I plan to talk about those systems at a later date, today I'm not going to focus on any of them, which leads me to the good news. The good news is that today I'm going to offer you a common sense way of approaching investing. If you remember nothing else that I tell you about investing, remember this right here. Always have a well thought out reason for every stock you buy and be prepared to defend that reason. Always have a well thought out reason for every stock you buy and be prepared to defend that reason. Like, think if you were locked in a room with someone who criticizes everything you do. Imagine that person is asking you questions about this stock. Then imagine crushing every question that they have because you have already thought it through. So what types of things should you think through? What types of questions should you ask before buying a stock? Well, first, what is the current market condition and how has it been trending? Is the market trending upward, downward, or sideways? And how does the stock that we're researching follow the market? One quick way of determining how a stock deviates from the market is by looking at its beta. Beta is the measure of a stock's volatility in relation to the market. In theory, a stock that moves exactly with the market should have a beta with 1. That means if the market goes up 2%, your stock should go up 2%. Consequently, if you have a stock with a beta of -1, the stock should move exactly in the opposite direction of the market. That means if the market goes up 2%, then your stock should go down 2%. See how that works? You should also know how your stock's industry is doing. Technology, biomedical, finance, etc. You should know how these industries are trending before you buy your stock. It can be very worthwhile to enter a hot industry to take advantage of the momentum that the industry is bringing. You should know how your company is set apart from other companies in the industry. Remember that when you own a stock, you are a business owner. And every business owner should ask themselves the question, why would a customer want to do business with me instead of going somewhere else? Is the company profitable? There are many stocks that are propped up simply by investor enthusiasm rather than the company's financials. Just to make sure you are aware of this before going into it, because if the company is not profitable and the investor enthusiasm dries up, then the stock could lose value pretty quickly. Is there a dividend? If so, how much? There are many stocks whose stock price may not move very much, but they have a huge dividend. A lot of REITs, or real estate investment trust securities, fall into this category. This could be good if you have a strategy that seeks to preserve capital and create an income at the same time. Is the company growing? What risks and opportunities are on the horizon for the company's stock you're researching? As in, is there new legislation that could help or hurt your company? Though I don't always look at this, you might want to consider the analyst recommendations as well. The stock price tends to move when an analyst from an investment firm changes a stock's target price and also when they change their recommendations of the stock. In summary, you want to know as much as you can about the company and the company's stock before purchasing it. Once you have as much information as possible, you can then make an informed decision on which stocks to choose for your portfolio. As I said before, always have a well thought out reason for every stock you buy and be prepared to defend that reason. There are no guarantees in how the market will react. You can only guarantee that you made the best decisions you could with the information that you had at the time. Remember that and have no regrets. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in to the Donald POV. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and please tell a friend. Also, make sure to check out the website, www.thedonaldpov.com. Check out our new voicemail and on-hold messaging page on the website, and also check out our referral program called the Rainmaker Program, which could put money in your pocket just by helping me out. You should check it out today. Till next time, I'm Donald Fitzgill Jr., and this is the Donald POV. Brought to you by the Speakeasy Sound Company. I'll holla.